When we were growing up in our time, if you did something wrong, you will look around because you knew there was a shoe flying. That stuff is not happening these days because of that ridiculousness that you guys have, that you see I should be friends with my kids. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for leaving a comment. Thank you very much for sharing the content. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for everything that you're doing to make sure that the family grows. Anyway, in this particular video, now that that is said, at what point are you friends with your child? There's this stupid idea that we usually have in this 2018, 2019 kind of days that, you know, you have to be friends with your child so the child can grow up and, you know, learn to think for themselves and make decisions for themselves. This is absolutely nonsense. I grew up in a home where there was clear lines. Your parent is your parent and you are a child to them. That is what it is and that is what it was. I only became friends with my parents after I grew up and realized some of the things that they told me to do without question actually made sense. These days, a child can stand up to their mother or father because we've simply become so soft, either because we are too busy, so we leave the kids with the maids, and by the time we come back, we don't want to argue. So that sort of arrangement is kind of killing the relationship between parents and the children. If it was supposed to be friendship between you and the child, then you would have met them at a bar or met them at a Sunday school service or somewhere and then decided that you can be kids. This is not love. This is birth. A child is given to you by God so you can nurture them into something that they should grow up into. The other thing I hear when you're friends with your child, then you learn more about them. When you have a child and are friends with them, then you will know everything about them. They will be open to you, and so you can be able to teach them and guide them and advise them. That sort of... If your child is going to sneak around and smoke marijuana, even if you are their friend or not, they will do it. If your child is going to become a thief, if you're their friend or not their friend, they will do it. Your role as a parent is to stand in the parent's shoes and tell your kid what is right and what is wrong. And if they go wrong, there is no space for argument. It is time for a punishment. When we were growing up in our time, if you did something wrong, you will look around because you knew there was a shoe flying. That stuff is not happening these days because of that ridiculousness that you guys have, that you see I should be friends with my kids. That said, to bring up a better generation, my own idea is that don't be friends with your child. Be a parent to your child. Let it be a son, father or mother, a daughter. It should be a child-parent relationship and not a parent-friend relationship. You have lots of friends at your workplaces. You have lots of friends at the bars you go to, at the churches you visit, at the shrines you go to. You have lots of friends. You do not need your child to be your friend. If you teach your child the right way, in the path to go to, they'll not depart from it. That's what the Bible says. So it doesn't say that if you teach your friends... There's also an idea that when you're friends with your kids, then they grow up to be more responsible kids. I'm responsible. I was never friends with my parents, and I'm friends with my parents now because I left, my parents' home and went to fend for myself. But in my father's house, in my mother's house, I am still their child. So although we are friends now, we can take a beer or two. Back in the day, I never had that luxury of saying, Dad, you know what, we are friends. Can we go out and have a beer or two? What kind of ridiculousness is that? There's lots of angles to this. You can come up through the comment section and, give me your point of view, whether you believe that our children should be our friends or not, or you also agree with me that as a parent, you stand in the parent's shoes and a child should stay in the child's shoes. There's nothing like friendship. Of course, I do not mean that you should be enemies with your kids. No, don't be enemies with your kids, but be a parent to your kids, a good parent at that. Until the next video, thanks for subscribing, thanks for leaving a comment, thanks for sharing the content everywhere. I hope that by the time you watch this video, you've already subscribed and you're already at 50, hoping that we start into another century of subscribers. See you again in the next video. Stay on the app.